Hi there, Saints Row fans. So I honest to God wasn't planning on making any more sort of update slash DLC content until we got an update or DLC, but so much news has dropped over the past couple days, and I feel like more is going to start funneling in, that I really want to go over what we have so far. Now, the reason specifically I wanted to make this video right this very second is because I just checked the DS Volition Twitter, and I'm so excited to talk about this, I can't lie. They have announced a proper camera mode, not just the selfie cam. It looks like a full-on proper camera mode, reminiscent of the Watch Dogs series. Now, if you've never played Watch Dogs Legion, I don't blame you. It's got one of the best camera modes I've ever seen in the game ever. I'm not reinstalling it to show you, so just use your imagination. I'm sorry, that shit's gonna take forever to install. It's like 100 gig. But I promise you, okay, it has got one of the most badass camera systems you've ever seen. If you want to see a good actual demonstration of it, I made a little mini montage on that game. I'll put it in the description. It's not very popular, but if you want to see it, blah blah blah, whatever. It looks fantastic, and it means that making thumbnails is going to be so much more exciting. But on top of that, it means that just getting general cool pictures is going to be awesome. Now, no one can deny that the lighting and the map of Santo Ileso are the strongest points of the game, and quite frankly, a new camera mode that personally puts a smile on my face. That's honestly some of the first reboot news I've seen in a good while that's got me fully excited. Moving past that, there is also a sort of image floating around of a new VTOL jet being added. I actually couldn't find it when making this video, so I'm sorry, but picture like the old I don't know how to describe it. You know the Stag jet, not the one, not the actual VTOL, but the other one that had the weird turret. Picture that, but a Marshall version. That seems to be floating around Twitter at the moment, which is nice and exciting. So that'll be really fun to kind of mess around with, and it shows more aircrafts are on the way. We're seeing some sort of snippets of the district, and it looks pretty cool. I'm not actually gonna lie. I'm actually getting more and more interested the more I see these things, and quite frankly, it does just look quite like an interesting district to go and explore. Obviously, we've also seen the sort of new wingsuit activity, I guess I'm going to call it. The new wingsuit activity seems really interesting, and honestly, I'm all for it, to be honest. We've seen tons of new emotes, including an emote wheel coming. Now, I said this in my Discord server, but it does kind of make me think very Fortnite-y, which I know kind of sucks, but realistically, when it comes to actually having more gameplay features, it's quite nice. Yes, it's very mainstream game. You know, you see it in COD, you see it in Fortnite, you see it in everything these days. But realistically, with a game with this many taunts and expressions and stuff, you're probably going to want it. It's also very reminiscent of Fable 2, which is one of my favorite games of all time. So, being real, I'm super pumped about that. Being able to kind of switch between different emotes on the fly is going to be nice to kind of mess around with. On top of that, the map is getting a huge restructuring when it comes to UI, which is a big bonus. The current actual game map is very clustered. It's kind of all over the place, and finding and navigating it is just really messy. Well, it seems to be doing a big restructure, and all the things are kind of tucked away nice and neatly, which is a bonus, with a new thing called events being added. No idea what events are. I'm hoping it's some sort of co-op and multiplayer experience, which is what people seem to be thinking on Twitter. But if I'm setting my expectations very realistically, what it will most likely be is just some random game events kind of popping up that you can complete. But either way, it should add some more replayability to the actual game, which is a big bonus to me. And that's kind of all I really have to cover at this moment. But it does seem really interesting to see all these things being added, and more stuff is kind of floating out there on the internet. So if you want my advice, keep an eye on the socials, because images and pictures and videos are rolling out, and there are glimpses of information that you can see. Now we know that there's a camera mode, an emote wheel, a big map restructuring. We're seeing tons and tons of more information kind of float out there. We're getting new aircrafts, we're getting new taunts. Quite frankly, these images and these videos are leaking quite a decent bit of information for this update. And, you know, not to be overly positive, because we've all made this mistake before, okay? The more stuff I see from this update, the more I am pleased with it. I'm seeing decent features that, to me, is, at least as a content creator, I'm really excited for. That camera mode is going to make thumbnails so damn nice to make. And it was already good enough to make thumbnails as it was, but it's just going to be even better now. And plus, hopefully, it can make some really cool sort of short films, maybe short images, wallpapers, whatever you want. You should be able to mess around with it a ton. Anyway, to me, it seems like it's slowly coming along. Again, I'm not trying to be too optimistic or positive, but the more I see, the more I'm like, okay, this is something I'm actually looking forward to. So that's my takeaway from this. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you're thinking so far. Just basically keep an eye out on the socials. We're seeing more and more information rolled out, and it's slowly getting my hype up. I won't lie. Only a smidge. I've built my hype up before, and I know what happens when stuff releases. It smashes it. But this, along with the overhauled combat and brand new more serious sounding DLC pack, the Heist and Hazardous, it could be a very good month for Saints Row. But I don't want to, be super optimistic, super hype, and have it thrown in my face. So, temper your expectations, don't overhype yourself. But on the bright side, there's a few features coming that I think will be genuinely quite nice. Anyway, see you soon.